In the woods, Jonathan and Nancy spot a severely injured deer. Filled with pity, they plan to end its suffering with a shot, but something suddenly yanks the deer away. They scan the area, finding nothing, so they split up to search. Nancy follows the blood trail to a tree hollow. Driven by curiosity, she crawls inside. This place, it's none other than the Lopside Down. The monster is gnawing on the deer, savoring its meal. Terrified, Nancy eases back quietly. Her scream catches Jonathan's attention. Though trapped in separate dimensions, they can hear each other. Nancy dodges the monster while following Jonathan's voice back to the hollow. Just as the opening starts to close, Jonathan yanks her out. The terrified girl clings tightly to him. Half an hour later, Steve climbs through the window to see his girlfriend, only to spot Jonathan with his arm around Nancy. Convinced he's been cheated on, he storms off in a rage. Too scared to be alone, Nancy begs Jonathan to stay. They sleep in the same bed, though nothing inappropriate happens between them. The next day, the chief and Joyce track down the woman who accused the lab of stealing her daughter to question her, but Terry says nothing. She's like a vegetable, completely unresponsive. Her sister explains that back in the 1950s, Terry was used as a guinea pig for an experiment aimed at expanding human brain potential. Tragically, she had no idea she was pregnant at the time. After taking too many experimental drugs, she miscarried in her 3rd trimester. Since then, Terry's mental state crumbled. She imagined giving birth to a daughter named Jane, insisting the girl was special, born with superpowers. That's why the man from the lab stole Jane. Terry claimed he wanted to turn her into a superweapon against the Soviet Union. As viewers with a god's eye view, we know that daughter is 11. But Terry's sister didn't believe a word she said. She investigated thoroughly and found no birth certificate. Doctors and nurses all confirmed Terry's miscarriage. The chief and Joyce, however, are skeptical. The signs all point to Terry's child existing. For Joyce, despair sets in. If Terry hasn't found her daughter in 12 years, how long will it take her to find Will? Amid the sorrow, the chief gets a call from the station. Jonathan has been arrested. To find out what happened, let's cut back to the 2 high schoolers. They realize the monster only hunts at night, and blood is the key to luring it. Barb had a cut on her hand, and the deer was bleeding too. That's why both drew the creature. Determined to lure the monster out, Jonathan and Nancy head to a gun shop to buy bullets, bear traps, and other supplies. On their way, a classmate mocks Nancy, and they spot why. The movie theater sign is scrawled with red letters calling her a slut. It's Steve who did this. He's bitter after seeing Nancy with Jonathan the night before. Furious, Nancy slaps Steve, but can't explain the situation clearly. Unable to take his anger out on her, Steve shoves Jonathan and hurls insults. Jonathan holds his temper until Steve insults his mom and brother. That's the last straw. Jonathan pummels Steve, who stands no chance against him. Even when the police arrive, they struggle to restrain the enraged Jonathan. He ends up getting arrested after accidentally injuring an officer. Meanwhile, as the night passes, 11 still hasn't returned to Mike's house, and Mike is beside himself with worry. Dustin urges him to make up with Lucas first, then the 3 of them can search for 11 together. After all, Mike was the one who threw the first punch. Taking his advice, Mike offers Lucas an olive branch. But Lucas lays down a condition. The 3 of them will hunt for the Upside Down's gate and leave 11 out. Mike shuts down the idea immediately. The 2 argue again, neither willing to back down. In the end, Lucas decides to go find the gate and rescue Will alone. Elsewhere, 11 wanders through the woods. She puts on a wig, only to yank it off right away. She's having doubts about her identity. Starving, 11 dashes into a supermarket and grabs a pile of waffles straight into her arms. The clerk chases her, demanding payment. Without looking back, she blasts open the glass doors and storms off. Later, 11 enjoys the waffles in the woods until she hears someone calling her name. It's Mike and Dustin, come to find her. But the boys have bad luck. They run into 2 school bullies who always pick on them. Brandishing a knife, the bullies want revenge on Mike for wetting his pants. The boys are chased to the edge of a cliff. One bully grabs Dustin, pressing the knife to his neck. He forces Mike to jump off the cliff, or he'll knock out Dustin's teeth. To save his friend, Mike agrees. No matter how much Dustin begs him, Mike leaps without hesitation. The bullies are stunned. They rush over to check, only to be even more shocked by what happens next. Mike is floating in midair. He then rises gently back up to the cliff. Everyone is frozen with fear. 11 strides over, uses her mind to knock one bully down, and flicks her head to snap the other's arm. The two bullies flee, but 11 collapses to the ground. Through tears, she tells Mike the truth. Not long ago, Dr. Brenner submerged her in a saltwater tank, making her use her powers to locate the monster. But when the monster turned around, her overwhelming fear unleashed a massive burst of energy, cracking the lab's walls. It turns out 11 was the one who opened the gate to the Upside Down. She's scared of the monster, and even more scared that her friends will see her as one. Mike pulls her into a hug, stopping her from blaming herself. He tells her monsters don't save people's lives. 11 finally understands what friendship means. The three fully accept each other from the bottom of their hearts. Inside the lab, weapons are quickly loaded. Dr. Brenner and a team of his men get in their cars, setting out to capture 11. They don't notice someone watching their every move, Lucas. On the hunt for the Upside Down's gate, Lucas followed his flickering compass to the lab's perimeter. Through binoculars, he sees the large group mobilizing and senses danger. He hurries to contact Mike on his walkie-talkie, warning that the lab knows 11 is at his house and they need to run. Mike and Dustin rush to the window and spot the suspicious watchers. Two boys grab their bikes, take 11 out the back door and flee. Dr. Brenner spots them just in time and leads the chase. The three kids turn down a side road and meet up with Lucas. But bikes can't outrun cars. The lab vehicles quickly box the four kids in from front and back. Just in time, 11 unleashes her powers. The car in front flips over, blocking all the others behind it. The four kids escape to an abandoned parking lot. Lucas admits he was wrong about 11, apologizes to her, and makes up with Mike. Suddenly, a helicopter flies overhead nearby. The four kids immediately hide their bikes under an abandoned bus and climb inside. Over at the police station, the chief and Joyce arrive to bail Jonathan out, but the officer refuses to remove his handcuffs. Jonathan had dangerous weapons for fighting in his car. Cornered by questions, Jonathan has no choice but to admit he and Nancy were planning to take on the monster. Joyce scolds him for taking such a risk with his and Nancy's lives, saying he shouldn't have shouldered this alone. Just then, the bully with a broken arm shows up at the station with his mom to file a report. From his description, the chief realizes the buzzcut figure the restaurant owner saw earlier is actually a girl, 11. He also learns she has superpowers and often hangs out with Mike and his friends. The chief and his team rush to Mike's house, only to spot lab agents sealing off the area from afar. Jonathan comes up with a way to reach the kids. They head back to his place and dig out his brother Will's walkie-talkie. Inside the abandoned bus, the four kids hear Nancy's voice over the walkie-talkie, but cautious Mike holds back from responding. Suspecting a trap, he thinks Nancy might be coerced by the lab to reveal their location. The chief snatches the walkie-talkie, admitting he already knows about 11 and offering to help. Left with no other option, Mike trusts him and reveals their position. Unfortunately, the lab agents track them down too. The bikes hidden under the bus are found, giving away the kids' trail. As one agent is about to search the bus, a blow knocks him out. After a flurry of screams, the lab team collapses, and the chief boards the bus to rescue the kids. Late at night, the group of kids, teens, and adults finally reunites. Mike tells everyone about the Upside Down, explaining Will and Barb were taken there. He adds the gate to the Upside Down is beneath the lab, a fact the chief confirms having seen it with his own eyes. They ask 11 to reach out to Will and Barb trapped in the Upside Down, but she can't summon her powers, leaving her heartbroken. The three boys reassure her every time she uses her abilities. She grows weak. The more she pushes, the more exhausted she gets. It's like needing to rest while her powers recharge. As 11 splashes water on her face to calm down, she notices the bathtub nearby. She has a plan: submerge her in the tub to deprive her of her senses. Just like Dr. Brenner did at the lab, it will amplify her powers. Dustin immediately calls Mr. Clark to ask how to build sensory deprivation tanks. Soon, the group sneaks into the school, splitting up to gather the necessary supplies.